What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another Straight Facts YouTube exclusive. Of course, this weekend, it kicks off the NFL playoffs, and we're ready here for that at Straight Facts. And it kicks off a good week of betting for a lot of people. So you know what we're going to do. We're going to hit you with the best bets of Wild Card Weekend here. Before we start, I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. What is your best bet? Give us one. I know the Straight Facts viewers are pretty sharp, right? And I'm putting you to the test. I want to see some winners down there. But for right now, we're going to put us to the test. So I'm joined by Stat Matt Robinson. We did this last year, if you remember. Me and him went head-to-head on each other against the spread bets throughout the course of the season, and it was profitable. But Matt did edge me out. So, Matt, for the playoffs, because we're going to do this every week, I'm on a little revenge tour here. And then, of course, we got the newbie to the best bets, and that's Jake Galley. Newbie, but he knows his stuff. I mean, he works in the industry. We do these little betting segments every now and then on the podcast, and he's been pretty sharp on it. So with that being said, newbie, since you're the new one here, Jake, we got to hear yours. I want to hear a best bet, and I want to hear two others.
Yeah, so Matt and I took a look at this game, and Matt, maybe you can give the opposite side. Are on the we're going to be facing off against each other here to start off. I have Cincy, Las Vegas under 49, and when you take a look at the Raiders, they look and I also want to take this opportunity to say I probably shouldn't have said they have 0% chance to win last week.
Right.
I look a little dumb right now. But going into this week, you take last week's game out, and they've scored under 24 points for the 4 straight games preceding that. So when you have 49.5, you're looking at splitting it down the middle. They haven't been able to eclipse that mark. And then Cincy, the last time that they faced Vegas this year, they won 32-13. So I don't know. I kind of like the under here, and I'm interested to hear the points for the over.
Right.
Basically, I think when the Raiders played that game, it was just like a couple weeks after the Henry Ruggs incident. It was really the low point of the many low points of their season. So I feel like they weren't really up for it that game. They hadn't really found how to play with their new squad. And I think Darren Waller, who had 127 receiving yards in that game against Cincy, I think is going to go off again since he's been bad against tight ends all season. I think it's a high-scoring shootout. I have Cincy winning, but I think Raiders going to keep it close. And I think I said on the pod like 31-27 or something. So I think it's going to be like the high-flying game of the weekend.
So we got a Jake over 49, Matt. Okay, I like that. Started off going head-to-head. I know me and Matt went head-to-head a little last year, but that's the way we got to kick it off. Jake, what are your two others?
Okay, so the other one, it pains me to say it, but I have Dallas -3 against the Niners, and
yeah,
it feels like a trap. It really does, but Dallas has scored over 35.7 times this year. They're one of the best offenses in the NFL, and it's been about 2 decades of pain for Cowboys fans, which the odds say eventually it's going to flip and the Cowboys are going to win some games in the playoffs. So I think they're going to be able to put up some points against the Niners. And lastly, if there was ever a doubt, look, I got to tell you guys, the Eagles are covering. They may not win. The Eagles are covering 8.5 against Tampa Bay. 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. Going to be a lot of running, which the Eagles do well and they defend against well. Should be a short game, and hopefully they can keep it within the number. And I think maybe even a little sprinkle. I'm not going to give it out as best bet. Maybe a little sprinkle on the money line would be fun to ride out as well.
Right. I like them. So if you had to choose one, what's your best bet out of those 3?
I really like the Cincy Las Vegas play for
under
49.
All right.
Yeah.
So his best bet is the under. Matt, do I dare to ask if that's your best bet too?
That is not my best bet.
Okay. What's your best one?
My best bet is Mac Jones under 209.5 passing yards.
I like that.
Mac Jones is averaging 82 passing yards per game in his 2 games against Buffalo this year. I know one of those was the game he threw 3 times. But Mac Jones has been trending downward over his last 5 games. He has a 79.8 passer rating, and that's with playing Jacksonville that boosted the numbers. So his numbers, I think, and Buffalo is one of the best pass defenses in the league. They hold opponents to around 192 passing yards per game.
I believe they are the best. I think they're number 1. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Buffalo just completely smothers Mac Jones at home in the cold. And I think Mac Jones doesn't get within 50 yards of that number.
Wow.
So I love that Mac Jones bet.
All right. I don't mind that. I like that one. So we got Mac Jones as your best bet. We got the Raiders over going against Jake on the other one. What's your third one?
And I also got Eagles plus 8.5. And
Okay.
it's not just because I'm a homer, because I am a homer. I'm not going to deny that. But we lost by 6. I say we. I am a homer. The Eagles lost by 6 to Tampa when we were playing football, when we didn't know what our best strength was. We somehow on a Thursday night scrapped together a close-ish 28-22 loss. We're playing much better football now. We have an identity. Our offensive line is absolutely dominant. And I don't care that Levante David's back. The Bucs aren't gonna have a lot of possessions because we're gonna be eating up clock. I would be very surprised if we don't cover this 8.5.
All right. I like it. I was at that first Bucs game too. Now, I will say one thing. It was a 6-point game, but we were at home. Now, this game's going to be played in Tampa Bay, playoff scenario, but I actually do like the Eagles to cover, but that is not one of mine. So I'm going to give you my best. That is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs -7 in the first half. So the full spread's 12.5. I'm taking the first half -7. The reason for that is there's only been 10 underdogs in wild card history, and they're 2-8. So the favorites here tend, and that's against the spread. The favorites here tend to cover. So I'm using that a little bit. I know I'm taking the first half, but then you just look at the eye test. I think KC is a team that gets out in front in games, starts very hot. And I think the Steelers, especially this mold of the Steelers, has been starting games very, very slow. So I think you add that together. I like the spread too, but I think the first half -7 is pretty safe. I'm willing to give you a touchdown there. I'm willing to give the touchdown. The other one kind of synergizes with Matt's, and I'm just going Bills -4. I'm keeping it simple. I'm not going with the prop. I agree with you. Mac Jones has been playing poor football, and I also think, and it's been shown this season, that he struggles on the road. And you can tell me what happened last time in the Bills game, but we know that, the Pats ran the ball 50 times, and Mac Jones had 3 passing attempts. This is going to be a completely different game, playoff scenario. I think Bills -4 is pretty good. I like them to win outright 100%, so I'm willing to give 4 points there. And then my last one, I'm also taking it under. I was thinking about yours, Jake. I was thinking about that Raiders and Bengals, but I'm going the Rams and Cardinals under. I know it's a little risky, but I also think this is a fade the public type of play. It's a Monday night. These teams would have hit the over in both of the games they've played this season. But I think in a playoff scenario, under 49, 2 teams with very capable defenses, 2 teams that have shown they can run the ball, not their identity, but that could turn into what this game is. And I think it's going to be like a tight divisional matchup. And I think 49 points is a lot in the first round of a wild card game with 2 quarterbacks that are probably playing their worst football of the season. Like Matthew Stafford's coming in with 7 picks in the last 3 weeks. Kyler Murray, since he's been off the injury, no longer looks like that MVP guy. So yeah, KC first half -7 is my best, and then Bills -4 and Rams Cardinals under.
And before we get out here, Kyle, I do have one bet. I didn't want to include it in my wild card bets because it's a future bet. But if you are on Unibet, I believe is the site, you can find Rob Gronkowski. And I know I say I'm a big Eagles homer, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I want the Eagles to win. I think they have a chance to win. If you like Tampa Bay, Robert Gronkowski, 18-1 to lead the playoffs in receiving yards. It's really a bet on who do you think is A, a high level enough receiver to get a big target share in every game, and B, how far is that team going to go? So if you think that they can beat the Packers, 18-1, you get a guy in Gronk who last 2 weeks, 10 targets, 7 receptions, over 100 yards in both of those weeks. So
I think with the extra game, Devontae Adams, even if they make the Super Bowl, it's only 3 games.
Exactly. So it's 3-3. Granted, I think either way,
in 3,
you
I'll
probably
take
won.
Devontae.
Devontae is also a good bet. I have him listed here. He's plus 750.
I think Kelsey's a good bet too.
Who's that?
Kelsey. I was thinking Kelsey.
He's
and
also
Tyreek.
They're both plus 750 along there with Devontae.
18-1 though. I don't mind that. I think we have
a good number.
I think we have some good ones. I know someone's gonna win and someone's gonna lose with you guys unless we get a push out there. So at least one loser coming out of this episode. Hopefully 8 winners though, and hopefully a lot of winners in the comment section. When I say I'm putting the Straight Facts viewers to test, I mean it. I want to see what you guys can do.
If someone can beat us in the if you pick 3 with us, and if you can beat us, we'll get you some Straight Facts merch. If you're the best of the heap, we'll keep track in the comments.
All right, we heard it here first. That's from Jake. So Jake's probably paying for the merch, just saying. But
that's on me. That's on me.
But thanks, guys, for tuning in to another episode. If you couldn't tell by now, we're going to be doing this for the entire playoffs. So stay locked in and good luck on your bets this weekend.